Hey everybody, happy Easter and April Fools. It's Transmidwestern here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the reason behind this video is because of the incessant carnage in kids media, and that being of various properties such as Star Wars, owned by Disney. So, if you didn't know, back in 1999, Star Wars was bought out by this guy named George Lucas, who basically didn't care about it and then sold it right back to the rightful owners, Disney. But there's hints and things in the original, if you haven't seen it, about all Disney basically. Anyways, so he makes this movie in 2005, and it's really stupid. It's called Revenge of the Sith, and it's really silly, and it's all about it's very it's godly goofy, everyone. It starts out with this guy and his lover, and they're driving through space with a little space station, coming up, and he shoots the space station to get inside the space station. Instead of going hey, can I come in? They're like, no, we're just gonna shoot it. Anyways, they shoot a space station and they drift inside, and there's a bunch of people inside, and they're like, stop, get out of my ship, and they're all like, I'm gonna get you, and they take out their light batons, and the gay guy, he's got a mustache, and his little twink friend, and he started hitting all the robots with light batons. And while they got there, they crashed through a bunch of satellites too, so all the satellites got ruined, so there's probably no internet, so you probably can't even open Twitter or anything cool like that, or talk to all the girls, but it's really stupid, and it's honestly really dumb that they did that, but I don't know, I guess they just hate trans women. But so they go into the place, and in the last movie, they encountered a little character, and the little character fought off essentially Saruman from Lord of the Rings, and Saruman from Lord of the Rings, with all his power and all his might, through the power of teaming up with Sauron, inevitably, being a true, one of the 5 wizards of, Lord of the Rings. This guy comes in, he's like, I am Saruman, and he cuts off some guy's arm, and it ends up being the twink's arm with the ponytail. Anyways, so back to the ship. They're in the ship, and they're walking around, and they go on the elevator, and they go in the sewers, and they go everywhere, and they get stopped, and they keep going, and all of a sudden, they arrive in the room with Ballsack Man. Ballsack Man's there, but Ballsack Man's got makeup on, so you can't tell it's Ballsack Man, but it's Ballsack Man, and Ballsack Man's got all this makeup on, and basically, they see Saruman. Saruman comes into the Ballsack room, and he does a little flip. He's like, I do not touch the Ballsack Man. And then, everyone's like, why are you here? And they start fighting him. The guy with the mustache gets thrown against the wall, gets crushed by a giant pillar. He's fine though. And then he gets it's the twin starts fighting the Saruman, and Saruman's like, whoa, what the fuck? You got my head. So, Saruman ends up losing his head because Ballsack Man's like, you gotta cut off his head. You gotta cut off his head right now. You gotta cut off his head. You gotta cut off his head right now. You gotta cut off his head. So he ends up cutting off his head, and, so basically, you go up to the bridge. The bridge, there's a guy. He's half man, half robot. He's coughing. He smokes weed. It's really cool. They're like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I'm gonna see you later, peace, suckers. And he takes his little robot baton. And he stabs it through the window. And he goes out into space. He's floating out into space, and he's fine because he's a robot. He can survive. But anyways, so Saruman's dead, and the robot's in space, so they're like, oh, I guess I'm gonna steal a ship now. All these droids are gonna just, press a button, they're all gone. So he pressed the mysterious button, they all disappear, and they all started driving the ship down to the city planet. While they're driving the ship down the city planet, it starts to crash and break in half, and like half of it hits another satellite, and, like kills like 20 billion people. Anyway, so they like start to crash down, and a bunch of ships come and like try to put out the fire on the thing, and all of a sudden, ship crash and like kills like 20 billion civilians and soldiers, and like takes out a bunch of control towers. And like the guy inside, the gay guy's like, oh, this is so much cool, it's so cool. And he's like, fine. And then, you know, he like goes right up to the Capitol building. Capitol building people are like stepping out watching it happen. They're like, oh shit, hey, check it out, there's this thing coming near us. And it stops right at the Capitol building. And Obi-Wan goes, that's the gay man's name, is Obi-Wan. He's like, oh, another heavy landing. He smiles, you know, after killing like 20 people, and then like, you know, almost crashing into like the government office, like a loser. Like, yeah, that's what he did. He was really happy about that. Anyway, so the boyfriend, he goes to the gold guy. The gold guy comes over. He's like, woo, where's my toaster boy? And the toaster boy comes out of the ship too, because the toaster boy was there. He's like, woo. And the gold guy's like, I love you, toaster boy. And the toaster boy's like, boo, and they start like talking or whatever. And anyways, so the twink guy, he goes over his mysterious girlfriend, and the boyfriend doesn't know. And the girlfriend's like, hey, I didn't take my plan B, so I got babies. And so then like the guy's like, oh, that's great. And he gets like really concerned. And that night he has this dream. He's getting hot flashes and shit. He's like seeing her, and like in the dream, like she's like dying. It's like really scary and stuff. But like it's like fine or whatever. And he wakes up the next day. He's like, I gotta tell him ball segment. So he goes to ball segment opera. He starts talking ball segment. He's like, I don't want to kill my wife. I want my wife to live forever. He's like, Boss Man's like, I can make your wife live forever. You can fuck her forever. And Boss Man's like, this is gonna be awesome. Watch this. And he's like, wha-cha. And then, anyways, so it cuts to his husband who went off to the war, and he's like, I'm gonna go get the robot guy. So he goes to the robot land it's like a giant, it's essentially a Gartha, which is, if you didn't know what a Gartha is, it's essentially a tunnel to the center of the earth, which is a theorized, somewhat scientifically backed theory by my favorite scientist, Andrew Bird, Larry Bird. They kind of coexist. Discovered in the 1930s, Agartha is the center of the earth. Anyways, Utapau, according to George Lucas, the man who bought Star Wars from Disney, anyways, I won't say any more. So the gay guy goes and pursues the robot in Agartha, and he sees the lizard people, and he starts talking to 20-foot tall lizard people. See what I'm doing here? He starts talking to the Agarthians, and they're like, oh, well, don't worry, we have tunnels all underground, you know, like Hollow Earth, like Agartha. Anyways, and they're like, but the evil robot man is there, and he's trying to take us. And those are like the Nazis are inside of Agartha. It's like the Agartha Nazis. It's kind of cool. A little Easter egg, people will notice it, but not many. If you pay close enough attention, you could actually notice a Paraceratherium in the background of Utapau, which is the planet essentially supposed to be Earth, which is supposed to be 10,000 years in the future, where Agartha takes place. Anyways, back to talking about Star Wars. Which is Star Wars, hypothetically speaking. If you didn't know, I'm a Star Wars fan. So when the gay man comes and he crashes into the robot man's house, the robot man's like, I have been living here for centuries. These are all my friends. And then he like crushes all his friends, and he's like, dude, what the hell? And he's like, hey, what's up? And then the Gerald Grievous is like, who's the robot man? That's his name. He's Gerald Grievous. He's not really a Gerald or anything. He's just Grievous. But he's got a cape, and he takes his cape off. He's like, he takes the cape off. He reveals 4 arms. He got 4 arms. He's so happy. He's doing all dance. He's like, check out all my light batons. He takes out his light batons. He gets all his light batons out. He starts waving them around. He's like, oh, look at this. I got 4 arms. And the fucking gay guy, Obi-Wan, he starts cutting off all his arms. He leaves the fucking Gerald guy. He's just like, oh, my arms are gone. And then, you know, he's still fighting him. He still grows back to more arms, and the more arms fall. He's like, well, I got no more arms. So he goes on the spinny thing. And then essentially Obi-Wan chases him through what essentially is Agartha, according to our sacred texts and what we have in our books and what we have in the Bible, especially according towards the Bible. It's very essential to recognize that Agartha is a very key point in Revenge of the Sith, and it's very essential to recognize the secret Mongolian camps inside Agartha, the secret United States government camps inside of Agartha. All these theories pertain to Hollow Earth within Revenge of the Sith. So anyways, the gay guy, like, goes and, like, chops the robot's arms off, and he goes on the spinning thing, and he chases him with the Agarthan, essentially the Agarthan steed, which is essentially what we want to see in evidence towards the existence of such a medium between science fiction and reality. So the guy in the spinning thing, like, crashes, and the gay guy jumps off of the Agarthan, warrior that we have been taught in society is a fake and a falsehood. However, we do know, based on sacred texts from the Cimmerians that lived in the area of Mesopotamia in the time, we do know that Agartha is a real civilization. Anyways, so the guy, like sees the crash guy, and they, like, fight a little bit, and he, like, breaks out. He gets a gun. He has a gun. He's like, I'm gonna get you. And he, like, for some reason, the guy doesn't like guns. Gay guy don't like guns. He, like, shoots the robot guy, like, 50 times in the chest. Anyways, he's with a bunch of army guys, and the army guys are like, oh, you got the guy that shot him in the chest. Good job. And Obi-Wan, the gay guy's like, oh yeah. And Jalen Grievous is, like, dead at this point, so it doesn't really, like, matter. It's like everything's fine. And anyways, so meanwhile, little gay boy is still having little hot flashes about his wife. And that's, essentially what happens is that he tells Sam L, who's, like, in charge of, like, the military and everything. He's like the main guy, Sam L. There's, like, a little green scrum guy, and there's Sam L. Sam L's, like, the main guy. He's like, I am Sam L. Anyways, Sam L comes in, and he's like, we cannot have you on this council, and you cannot be the master because you listen to the ballsack man. Why are you listening to the ballsack man? You can't be doing that. What is wrong with you? Essentially, what I saw in the film, outside of what I wanted to see, was a boy that was so lost in his delusions that he... Anyways, so after this, he tells Sam L, hey, I think the ballsack man's up to no good. He's telling me, he took me to the evil opera. He started telling me, I could bring my wife back to life. He started making me dream shit. I started seeing shit. He started speaking to me riddles. And Sam L's like, oh, I don't really like that. We're gonna go get him. I got you, brother. I got you, bro. We're gonna kick ass. We're gonna get him. And Twink's like, I got you, brother. I'm gonna see you later. And he hops on the whip, and he just starts driving back to his girlfriend's house. He starts watching the tower from his girlfriend's house. He's like, oh, I should be there so I can see if Ballsack Man can still help my wife. So he goes to the tower with Samuel, who's got, like, this guy with a bunch of dicks on his head around. And Ballsack Man, who killed his master, who had a dick on his head too, essentially kills a guy with multiple dicks, so it's like a power scaling moment. And he also kills a bunch of other guys. And Samuel's just sitting there. He's, like, about to get him, and he almost gets him down. And then the twin comes in, he's like, I'm here because I was supposed to be here. Wait, you're gonna kill this guy? I need to bring my wife back. And Samuel's like, what? What are you talking about? This Ballsack Man, you just told me he's evil. You told me he's like touching you and being evil and like freaking you out and being scary and like goofy and like bad. Anyways, it's like like, I don't get it, like. Anyways, so the twink's like, I'm gonna stop you if you touch Ballsack Man. So the twink takes the Ballsack Man and he like cradles him in his arms. He like pushes he helps the Ballsack Man push. All the makeup comes off the Ballsack Man too. Revealing that he is in fact the Ballsack Man because he had makeup on before. Because I don't know why, he's just a makeup guy. Ballsack Man eventually took the makeup off and shot lightning out of his arm and got Samuel in the head, and Samuel flew out the window and lost his arm somehow. So his arm fell off. I don't know how. Anyway, so they go to talk now, and it's him and the guy, and the Ballsack Man, and the Twink talk about, like, hey, we gotta stop this, we gotta genocide, we gotta kill all the Jedi. And the Twink's like, what? And then the Ballsack Man's like, listen, you haven't been listening to me, and we gotta kill all the Jedi. So the Twink, he's like, oh, alright. So he goes and kills all these characters, these little funny, like, children and shit, and he starts taking part in a multicultural genocide, very similar to the genocide that happened in real life about 10,000 years ago toward the humanoid population and the Agarthians. Anyways, so basically, what ends up happening? Disaster. The gay guy, he ends up hanging out with Scrotum Man. Scrotum Man's like, all my friends are dead, and the gay guy with the mustache, he's like, yeah, I know. Let's go find out who did it. He's like, oh wait, that's my boyfriend. He goes to his like secret wife that he knows about. He's like, wait, do you know that my boyfriend did this? And he's like, yeah, do you know he's my wife? He's like, yeah, I know you guys are like dating or whatever, but like that's crazy. You wanna go find him? So they go to a flame planet to go find him because they think he's there for some reason. And he goes there anyways, like the little twink boy goes there. And he meets the wife and the guy on the flame planet after killing like 20 billion like random people for no reason on the flame planet. On the flame planet where people were like, hey, don't kill me, and he was like, I'm gonna kill you, so he killed him anyways. And he's like, stop all this. What are you doing? You do this after all this? What are you doing here? What do we crashed the big ship, we got the beep boops, we got this golden guy, we got the batons, we did all this. Oh, and while all this is happening, the Obi-Wan guys on the Agarthan society underneath the planet Earth, basically, those guys all shot Obi-Wan, and he had to go into hiding. So that he came back though. He didn't really die. He just died. Anyways, so when he came back, they start fighting on the flame planet, and right before they start fighting, Anakin's like, I hate my wife, and he kills his wife, and he's like, wait a second, why did I just kill my wife? I've been trying not to kill my wife this whole time, and now I finally kill my wife. What have I done? And then he starts killing his friend, and he like tries to get him, but his friend's like, no, you cannot get me because look, I'm up here. And the guy's like, oh no. And he's like, I don't want to do you up there. And he tries to jump and he gets cut in half. He's like sitting there, he starts bursting in flames or whatever. He's like, I don't really like you, dude. You kind of like cut me in half and like put me in flames. And his friend's like, I don't care, see you, peace out, Girl Scout. And he like fucking fucks off with the wife. And while this is happening, Scrotum and Ballsack Man are fighting in a circle chair room with donuts, and Green Scrotum Man is throwing the donuts at the Ballsack Man. The Ballsack Man is blocking the donuts with his hand in the Force. It's very emotional, very intense. It's got a lot of deep meaning. A lot of meaning behind genital mutilation and the movement behind uncircumcised cocks. Anyways, the most important part and takeaway of this film was the ending, in which Ballsack Man beats Green Scrotum. Green Scrotum has to go to Swamp Planet, and honestly, I don't want to go to Swamp Planet, but he has to go to Swamp Planet. And the gay guy with the mustache, Obi-Wan, he talks to Green Ballsack friend. He's like, this guy's wife's gonna die, but she has like 2 kids, so we're gonna send one to a planet where he's poor, and we're gonna send the other one to a rich people planet, and we're gonna give them like super obvious like it's super obvious where to find them, but don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. It's gonna be super obvious though, but just don't tell anyone. And he's like, okay. So he puts them on a desert planet. He puts this baby with immense power on the desert planet, and meanwhile, little twink guy with all the power in the world, his fingertips, he gets put in this robot suit. Now he's Robot Man, and the ballsack man's there, and he puts him in the chair. And he's like, I want you to tell me how you feel. And Robot Man's like, oh. Anyways, I've seen a lot of things in my time. The ending of the film really messed with me. I've been thinking a lot recently about, how we've been sexualizing kids' media, and to get the violence out of the kids' media, because there's a lot of ball sex, a lot of violence, a lot of scrotums, a lot of cock and balls, a lot of batons, a lot of handcuffs, a lot of kink and fet, all in Star Wars. And it's frankly it's inappropriate, and we need to keep the murder out of children's entertainment. Anyways, so my summary for Revenge of the Sith is probably a 7 out of 10. It was an alright film. I was entertained. I think it was made for more adults than kids, because the other ones were really cool, but like they seem more like for kids, and like this one was like a little more for adults. So like, I mean, I'm a big kid, so like I got it. Anyways, I would like to tell everybody real quick that I'm also going to be running a new domain for selling green sweaters. My green sweater domain is www.greensweater.com. That's www.greensweater.com. You can buy a green sweater here. I have no relation to greensweater.com. It's not my domain. I just said that. I don't have any affiliation to greensweater.com. I just wanted to say that and get the word out that greensweater.com is out there. It's a real place. You can go to it. You can be there. If you want to, you can hang out as like a little penguin. You can hang out with other green sweater people. It's like MySpace or like Zootopia or whatever. It's gonna be like really, really cool when it like comes into full development. Anyways, thank you all for coming to and listening to and coming and listening to my little like thing I got going on here. It's good to be back on YouTube. I plan to make some more movie reviews in the future. Especially the ones that are coming out, like Revenge of the Sith, and like Jumper, and like what's that one that just came out? Ice Age. No, that came out like 3 years ago. There's that one that just came out. See, they're getting like more dull. So like there was like Ice Age, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. And that was like 3 years ago. And then there was like Meet the Croods, and that was like a year ago. Anyways, I think that's the one that came out. But then there was also Meet the Fockers that came out this year too, which was pretty good. Meet the Fockers was pretty good, all things considered. It came out this year on HBO. I was really impressed with how they were able to de-age Ben Stiller like that. It was really cool. But nothing captures the magic of a classic Star Wars film about, like gay love, and, I gotta be real. I have a confession to make. When I was making this video, I didn't do any research beforehand. I only watched it. I didn't, watch any videos on it or watch any. I only watched that movie. So I don't really know what happens next or, in any of the other films. But I want you to know that I really think that, we do need to get the murder out of children's television, the sexualization out of children's television. We need to listen to the themes and media in Revenge of the Sith to notice that the Agarthians are trying to communicate with us beyond modern day methods of communication via satellite, via internet, via X videos, via Twitter, via X, via MySpace, via YouTube. They're not trying to communicate us through Pornhub. They're trying to communicate to us through Ice Age, So we gotta listen up. We gotta listen to the people. We gotta listen to the street. We gotta listen to the rhythm on the street. Anyways, you guys have a good night. I hope everybody here had a good Easter and April Fools, and bye.